Today on Adversity to Strength, I'm joined by Master Nick Eagle, a man whose life has been a journey from fame and indulgence to enlightenment and service. You may remember him as Nick Hawk, star of Showtime's hit reality series Gigolos. At the height of his notoriety, Nick was a household name, an escort in Las Vegas, author of Sex Wiles of a Gigolo, penthouse columnist, recording artist, media personality splashed across Cosmopolitan, TMZ, Playgirl, Hustler. From running a stripper agency to performing on stage, his life was larger than life itself. But behind the lights and glamour was a man searching for something deeper. That search led him to a profound Kundalini awakening, which changed his life forever. Shedding the persona of Nick Hawk, he emerged as Master Nick Eagle, a philosopher, meditation teacher, Reiki and Kundalini master, founder of the Eagle Vortex Awakening Sanctuary in Sedona, Arizona. Today, Nick dedicates himself to helping others shed their own darkness and live in the light. Through his new book, The Golden Laws of Enlightenment, his sanctuary and his teachings, he guides people to find their authentic power, embrace his worthiness, and live with unvarnished honesty. His journey from Gigolo to Guru is one of radical transformation and a reminder that no matter where we start, the path to strength and peace is always open. Nick, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Beautiful. Honored to be here.
Thank you so much. Take us back to the beginning of your journey, because it's certainly an interesting one, to say the least.
Beginning of the journey. Well, in the beginning, there was much darkness and many struggles, to say the least. I had very young parents, teenagers, when they had me, so they had very little guidance to pass on. And I lived in a constant state of panic until my mid-20s or maybe late teenage years, when I discovered alcohol. I used it as a crutch. It allowed me to talk to girls for the first time in my life. And it was rough. I was scared I just thought of a story I haven't shared in a while. In fourth grade, maybe, I faked having a heart attack to get out of answering a question in class. And I remember this. I remember this. Yeah, I grabbed my heart and I fell to the ground. They sent me to the nurse. My mom came to the school, and I remember her knowing that it was a lie, and she was really disappointed in me. But I couldn't answer a question in front of people. That's how I faked this horrible lie to get out of answering a question in class. And that continued throughout middle school and high school as well. In high school, I had to wear special shirts in class that didn't show my sweat. I was in a constant state of panic. I was constantly sweating. And more than anything, just I knew I had to conquer this. I knew I had to get over this. When I was 15, I had a friend who was 16 who was stripping. And the whole town made fun of him, but I thought this was the most courageous act anybody could do. That is taking your clothes, dancing in front of women, talking to women. I couldn't talk to women, much less dance in front of them, much less take my clothes off in front of them. I envied him, and that was in the back of my head. Told myself I will do something about this, and I will figure something out. So many years later, after I left the Air Force, I had an opportunity to jump in and do this male review show. It was when I moved to California, and I was just stepping into my own a little bit. I had a big awakening in 2005. I got out of the Air Force in 2004. I had my first awakening in 2005. That's when I vowed to do everything I can to operate at the highest levels and master confidence. And it must have been after that where I called this agency, and I lied to them, and I said I had experience to try to get in the door, and they invited me to a male review show. And I got to the male review show, and the most arrogant, cockiest stripper you could ever think of, the headliner, he's the cop act, girls are throwing money at him, he's fighting with the boss, just the most everything I want to be. And more than anything, when I see people like this, I knew I could be this. I knew we were one. I knew we were one. I knew we were aligned. I knew anything that anybody else could do, I could do. Deep down, we all know this. We see ourselves in everybody. We know deep down that we can do that. We just have to figure it out. We have to take care of ourselves and we have to make the same decisions that they're making. We have the same brains, the same operating system, no matter what you've been through. It's a decision and choice in every moment. And he was everything I wanted to be. A few days later, the boss called me up. So and so is fired. You're in Friday night. And I got
What,
thrown to the wolves.
what are you thinking when somebody says, "Oh, by the way, you're in Friday night"? Okay, yeah, great. Oh no, I've got to do this.
Terrified because that was my poor programming, my lack of guidance. I was
Yeah.
obviously terrified, but part of me is like, let's go. Let's do this. I've been waiting for this moment to I'm doing this. No, there wasn't one doubt in my mind I that I was not going to
No.
take advantage of this opportunity more than anything. And that's what everything is. It's all opportunities to improve yourself and improve your confidence. And every time you drink alcohol though, you blew the opportunity because you're using that as a crutch. And so I blew the opportunity in that sense that I did get extremely intoxicated, barely remember it to get on that stage. Is I got thrown into the headlining act too. He was the headlining cop act. And yeah, and I had a voiceover that I had to remember that would play before the dancing and stripping and everything. And thrown to the wolves. But glad I did it. Glad, and from there on, I took advantage of every opportunity, and I'd cut back on the alcohol until I didn't have to use it as a crutch anymore. And I was in Hollywood, and I was acting. I was doing improv classes, scene study classes, scene study classes. That's a whole nother animal too. You have 30 minutes to look over a scene, and then you perform it with somebody in front of this entire filled class. And that's right up there with taking your clothes off and dancing in front of women. So I went for it. I went for it. And if I have advice for anybody out there, just go for it. If you don't know, find out. Go, go, go. Take advantage of opportunities.
Yeah, without doubt. But when we go back to like getting on stage there, obviously not when you're drunk, but what are you thinking when you're on stage? Because and you got shouting and screaming women throwing
So,
things at you and shouting, and
I mean,
do you focus?
it, in the early days of the stripping and the acting, I'm just terrified. I'm poorly programmed to be scared. And all fear is a distraction. You have to learn how foolish it is, how destructive it is. It harms you in every way. You're not funny, you're not charming, you're at a low vibration, you're not connected, you're not thinking, you're not solving problems. And this fear just completely ruins you. You're not this person because God doesn't favor you. You're not this person because you're unlucky. You're this person because you're poorly programmed and you lack guidance. And you
Yeah,
have to know that. And I knew that and I saw through this. And so the step into just stepping into the biggest step into stepping into your confidence is just understanding its decisions and how foolish the fear is because of the distraction and how it just takes away from you being connected to your higher self and being the best version of yourself. So you have to learn that. And then to overcome that, you just have to get out there and you have to get sick of it more than anything. That's what pretty much forced my first awakening. I was just sick of being this person and not religious at all. I'm very anti-religion. Anything that teaches you're going to burn in hell and you're born a sinner and teaches you fear. I'm anti that. But a quote in a book that my mom sent me. She's very religious. I was religious growing up. And well, I was forced into religion and hated it. And I read a book called Mere Christianity, and there was a quote in there that triggered my first awakening. And it was a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. And it said, "Every time the devil comes knocking at the door of my heart, Jesus answers and tells him there's no room." And it something in me in that moment is when I didn't learn it was a choice. We know it's a choice. I accepted it was a choice. And that is when I had this true repentance, which is another word that's attached to the church. But true repentance is taking responsibility and putting truth above all. And those are the secrets to enlightening and enlightenment and any spiritual awakening. It's seeking truth, putting truth above all, and leaving the fear behind. And in this moment, I took responsibility for the darkness that I brought the world. And with that, I was able to really start this evolution process.
When you had your first kind of like enlightenment, this is when you were still doing the performing on stage, the stripping.
I think it was before that. I'm
Before
pretty
that,
sure the first one was right before that, and that's when I decided I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it.
so
So
you're
I
gonna
think
go
it
for
happened
it
shortly after that.
because you're at school and you're faking a heart attack to answer a question, and then how many years later you're on stage in
Well,
front
that
of
was
women.
fourth grade. I wasn't stripping in fourth grade. So this to clear that up.
But the level of anxiety you could have easily carried along. You've gone from that to on stage. That's a big that's a poles apart, literally in every sense. So how do you think you managed that then? Was it what changed your mindset? Was it like the enlightenment, or had you been working on yourself? It
Taking
just
ownership. It was owning it.
right.
It was owning it.
How did
This
you
fear that I'm bringing to the world is because of me. It's not because of my parents. It's not because of my trauma. It's because of my decisions.
yeah.
It's owning that. When you stop blaming and looking for excuses and you own that, that is when you
Right.
step into your power. And this is what must be taught through any type of therapy or
Yeah.
religion or spiritual practices. You must be taught to take responsibility for what you bring to the world and stop blaming and looking for excuses, because that's not going to allow you to enter a higher vibration and gain this power.
Yeah. The problem, me personally, and I'm a work in progress. I got a therapist. I am a therapist. I got lots of clients. We've all done it and we can easily do it, is to blame everybody else. I was unlucky. I had terrible parents. I had this, I had that. But you still have to take ownership. Well, this is what's happened to you. How are you going to manage it and deal with that? And I think the hardest part is for people to actually take ownership there. How did you take ownership? Because you got excuses. You've got excuses. So how did you go from not
I'm
excuses
really
anymore to taking
creative too.
ownership? What was that?
I got tons of excuses. You can come up with
Absolutely.
those. You can come up with those every day.
Yeah, yeah. So with yourself, you went from like, yeah, to for you to start getting ownership of yourself, leave excuses behind, get the ownership. How did that start for you? What was the enlightenment part that you were, well, I need to change this? Because obviously you read things, you get quotes or whatever, but then you actually have to go and do it.
Getting sick of it, then also becoming motivation to do it more than anything. Another thing that I teach is, don't look for motivation, be motivation. It's decisions. It's decisions. You don't need somebody else to push you. You can push yourself. So it was a desire. It was seeking you will find, and it's okay to desire and want to become a better person. And it was deciding to be on
Yeah.
this path to discover and find. Seek. That's what I did. I knew I could do that. I'd see it in other people. I knew I could be that, and I did everything I could to find out how. You have to want it. You have to want it. You got to be sick of being this fearful person. You have to understand how destructive it is. You have to want it, and you have to go get it.
Yeah. What did you do to go after it then? What was it? What was it? Because was that then, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going on stage. I'm going to be in Vegas. Was that your
Strip,
first set
talk
of
to
goals?
girls, acting,
Yeah.
improv classes. Took advantage of every opportunity, all of it. And in situations at a store, if there's somebody I wanted to talk to, a girl I was interested in, I started going up to them. You have to look at every moment that presents itself as an opportunity to either decide that you're scared and broken, or to decide that every experience makes you wiser and stronger. And when you start deciding that these experiences, your past as well, that everything that happened to you can make you stronger and wiser, as opposed to broken and weak. You have to know this. You have to know this. You have to know its decisions and its choices. You have to know this and go after it until you know this. Find out.
Do you reckon a lot of us a choice? We can sit there and wallow in our self-pity or bad choices, or we can go, you know what? I don't care. I can have a sob story, but that doesn't define me. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to get out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to start aiming for goals no matter what.
Yeah. a master shaman is going to have you celebrating life and getting up and singing and dancing and not sitting in that corner and feeling bad. It's okay to have a cry when you're having tears of ecstasy and tears of understanding, and the tears come from you, beautiful tears. My first awakening, I cried that whole day, hours and hours and hours just pouring out of me.
Yeah.
They're beautiful tears of ecstasy. But tears of boo-hoo, poor me, life is hard, mommy and daddy were mean to me, unacceptable. It's this darkness conjuring. It's not, it's these things don't get bottled inside of you. You're creating them. So these beautiful tears of understanding, those are the ones that you should earn for and hope for. But just feeling bad about yourself, no, you don't have it bad. You're not at a disadvantage. God doesn't dislike you. You're not unlucky. Luck's not a thing. We are one. You have to see this in people. You have to see this. Look at me. Look at everybody else. That's you in there. You can do that. You can do that. You can be scared or you can be confident. I promise you, I know this. And since I've been there, I see through all the lies. I see through all the blame. I see through all the excuses. I'm glad I was there because people can now trust me more. They can hear
Yeah.
my story. If I never experienced that and I still saw it, they might not be able to open up to my teachings as much, but no, few people struggled as I did. So I know, I see through it.
So everything's going really well on the stage there as well. Okay. How many years were you doing that for?
Well, I stripped for a few years, and then the show contacted me, and that was just another, again, opportunity to jump in and
Right.
do adult situations on camera, knowing tens of millions of people are going to see me. It's like, what do you do after that? But
Ta- ta-
I was
tell me a
acting at
story
the
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was acting at the time. My manager, representation agent, they said never do a reality show, never do adult show, but they wanted me because of my background in the stripping, and it was a starring role on original Showtime series that was going to go 6 seasons. You don't say no to something like that.
Say
So I
no to
did
that.
it. There was a lot of darkness in it. They wanted to take it really serious. They were having me drive a Lamborghini. Someone else was driving a Bentley, and it was very dark. And I started goofing
Yeah.
off and having fun and bringing and turning it more into a comedy. And Showtime fortunately loved it. And they kept sending the producers notes. Keep having Nick do that. We love that. We want to keep it light and fluffy. So it was an adult reality show, but you laugh out loud almost. I wrote a large part of it too, and especially the client situations. And it's soft-core and adult, but it's you laugh out loud. I turned it more into a comedy than anything else, and we had a lot of fun with it. But a lot of darkness did surround it. But I really stepping in front of those cameras, having 3 cameras on you, 20 people watching, all these producers, having so much money on the line to perform for this show, knowing tens of millions of people are going to see this. It was another chance and opportunity for me to really step into the role that I wanted to be and master this confidence. So I just looked at it as this opportunity and went with it.
You maximize the opportunity, obviously. Just your personality. You're always going to maximize it. You had a lot of fun, but there's also darkness there as well. What's
Very much.
the you got two totally different things going on there, which I can imagine in that level. It's almost like going to Vegas, I would imagine. What were the darkness and obviously the good sides of it then?
What was the darkness, and then what were the good sides?
Yeah, because obviously it sounds like you had a lot of fun there, but obviously I'm sure there's a lot more
Well,
fun things there as well, but with the dark side.
I am strictly against pretty much everything that goes on there now. Being indoors under lights, staying up late, drinking, alcohol is poison, the industry, casual sex. I'm against all that. I retain my seed now. I've, I'm against pretty much everything that went on there and the partying and the poisoning ourselves. And I hate that I promoted this, through this show. It's a TV show that I took
Yeah,
advantage
yeah,
of, but we promoted and glamorized this lifestyle, and I hate that so much. My lifestyle now and everything I promote is the opposite of that.
yeah.
So, it's a very destructive life. It's very, very destructive. It doesn't get you anywhere. There are no answers. You don't find peace. The people who are drinking and partying, at once I thought these are the most important, coolest people in the world. They were the coolest. That was my goal, to become cool, actually. I wanted to be the coolest
Mhm.
person, and that's one of the reasons why I stripped and did the show and went after Hollywood, because I was never cool. I was shy and scared and fearful. I wanted to be cool. But then I come to find out there's no cool is nothing I want to be anymore. I don't want to be associated as somebody who is cool, who, I was a rapper, I don't want to be like a cool, trendy person who does the things cool people do. I want to do intelligent and high vibrational things that allow us to operate at higher levels, to put more thought into things. I want to do things with purpose. I want to give back. Being cool is not worrying about be that's I haven't really thought about this before, but yeah, being cool is this like it's all me. I don't care about you. I'm doing me. I don't need you. I'm thinking about this for the first time as I say that's such a horrible thing. That's such a
Oh,
horrible thing being cool. Being cool is separating yourself. And you're trying to be cooler than everybody
yeah,
else.
yeah,
No, I want to bring everybody up now. I don't want to be the cool person that it's okay to look up to me as inspiration and motivation, but not like, what cool represents. When you
yeah.
think about cool people and the rappers and Cardi B and the people who speak very poorly, they don't take care of themselves. They're drinking and rapping about doing drugs and casual hookups and cars in the material world. Yeah, I don't want that anymore.
So was there an epiphany? Was it gradual? Because you've gone from almost one extreme to the other. Where was the change?
A little bit, a little bit. I don't like saying that it took me a long time because even with my journey, it's a choice in any moment. You can put truth above all and leave behind fear, one choice like that. So I don't like telling people that it did take me a long time because it doesn't have to, but '05 was the first awakening. I wrote a book when I started putting myself out there as a confidence coach and helping people with anxiety and some other issues. I wrote a book on confidence. Nick Hawk's 100 Kicks in the Ass, a guide to gaining confidence and reaching your full potential at the time. Little did we know, as it says in the back of my book, we come to discover that it's a book filled with sacred practices that will take you to my Kundalini awakening that happened in 18 or 19. So this was uh 13, 15 years later, 5 to 19, like 14 years later. And for I don't like telling people it has to take that long, but this it took me a long time because I didn't have the guidance. The guidance is out there. I know I provide it now. That's what this book is. This my
Yeah,
Golden Laws of Enlightenment, my new book. It's guidance. I didn't have it. So I had to figure out a lot of things of my own. I
great.
got pointed the wrong direction. I got pointed towards Hollywood to find my confidence and stripping and performing my music at clubs and doing TV shows. I was pointed in the wrong direction. So it did take me a long time. But the good thing about my book in '05 when I had that first awakening, it put me on this path where I decided to seek truth and leave behind my fear. That connected me with truth. I read every self-help book out there because I really wanted to help people. And all the self-help books seem gimmicky. There's some truth to them, but it seems like they're trying to sell something. They're trying to get likes and followers and sell books and tell people what they want to hear opposed to what they need to hear. That's the biggest problem in society right now. We put feelings before truth. So I
Yes.
set out. So my 100 Kicks in the Ass book. I set out to find truth, and I traveled the world. I backpacked Europe. I spent over 100 hours on planes and trains writing this book from in here. And I had no plans of being on this spiritual path, becoming spiritual. This wasn't the plan at all. My plan was to operate at the highest levels, but becoming spiritual is part of that. And I didn't know that even up until my awakening that happened in 19. I I sat down. It was actually at Burning Man, which isn't the most spiritual place in the world anymore. It used to be a lot better, but there was a beautiful. It was called the Chapel of the Chimes. It was this wooden structure that called to me, and I went and I sat in this Chapel of the Chimes. I took a couple deep breaths, and something told me to keep going. And it was the first time in my life I sat cross-legged. It was the first time I did prayer position. I was told to do this. I was doing pelvic floor squeezes, tongue to the roof of the mouth, eyes through the middle of the forehead. And I was doing this breath work, which I never did before. I didn't know what holotropic breathing was. I never did breath work. I never did yoga. And through connection, through letting go of this fear and putting truth above all, I was awarded with being shown yoga. I was taught yoga without ever doing it. And these breaths, and I was doing this violent, I was shaking violently and it awakens this energy, the Kundalini energy at the base of the spine. I shook very violently. I had my first full chakra Kundalini awakening. Afterwards, I looked up my friend. I'm like, what was that? He's like, I think you just had a Kundalini awakening. I'm like, what's that?
What's
I didn't
that?
even know what that was at the time. I didn't even know what that was. And it
Yeah.
took many years of researching. I thought the shaking I was doing, I thought I was like generating energy or taking energy from the atmosphere or the ground. I come to find out that is also years later. I read this in a book after I started reading all the books on Kundalini. Years later, I come
Yeah.
to find it's another ancient technique to induce these altered states where you connect with God and you heal and you obtain these answers. I had no idea.
And it just, so from that moment, after you've gone, what happened there? Did you feel that you were on like a mission, some sort of purpose, but you didn't know what, and then suddenly you research and you're buying books, or what happened after that?
Well, I obviously found out I was onto something.
Yeah.
And that, I did something that I experienced something I didn't even know was a thing. I was still doing the show. I was still in Vegas, but I was still seeing people as well and doing the gigolo thing. Eh, I was turning it more into I started offering healing and guidance opposed to just the companionship and the escorting thing. I never escorted. I was never a prostitute. I never sold any sexual anything ever. The show made it look like we did it every time, but that was TV. I've been
Yeah.
very intelligent with my body and who I share myself with when I
Sure. Yeah.
started doing that. And I saw very few clients. But after that awakening, I knew I had to get totally out. I had to get out of Vegas. I had to leave that behind. So I you know, started to manifest that, I guess. And then the show ended. I was still in Vegas, and it's been a little over 4 years now to where I had my biggest awakening. And it was at an ayahuasca ceremony in Costa Rica a little over 4 years ago now. And that's when the golden laws of enlightenment came to me. And at this point, I could induce these full chakra kundalini awakenings at will. They would happen in random places. They happen when I drive back into Sedona. If I travel somewhere and come back in, they sometimes happen when I walk into the produce section at Whole Foods. It's very high vibrational in there, and it's been a little while, but I used to induce them there. They happen at vortexes here in Sedona, and then they happen with the right song. And then if I'm working with enlightening plants as well, obviously these they enhance everything. They're so much stronger and they're so much more potent. If I take a large ayahuasca, I mean it's guaranteed for one of these to happen unless I do everything to hold it off. And I had a major one in Costa Rica, and that's when everything changed. After that, my last book, it's truth, and it's a brilliant book, but I don't love the energy of this. After this awakening, my energy changed. The way I spoke to people, I grew this awareness. I had this heightened awareness of the impact of my words, not just the volume, but their energy and the intention behind them. And I sought the highest purpose with every word that I spoke from them on. I didn't use the F word anymore. And I understood just how potent they are. They're either healing or stealing or harming. And I set out to just have my words heal when I spoke, the right tone, the pitch, everything. It's so
Yeah.
important. So I built my awareness to that. I could no longer put anything bad in me. I could no longer wear black. And it's not me trying to be all holy. I can't I refuse to wear black anymore. I refuse to wear unnatural clothing. I had sheiks at the time, which were really high-end sheets on my bed. They're black and they're like a plastic, but they're moisture wickening and all that. But I couldn't do unnatural sheets. I just grew my awareness to everything through putting truth above all and leaving behind fear. I was rewarded with these states and this Kundalini awakening that allowed me to heal and obtain answers and grow my awareness to everything. This effort that we put in, if you set out to operate it, it's everything is rewarded. Effort is rewarded so greatly, and I
Yeah.
proved that. I put so much work into this and researching and now I've released my enlightenment protocol, which is at my website. It's completely free. It's my gift to the world. And this has been me trying to figure out the best things to put in me since 5. And this everything changed. I couldn't have a black vehicle anymore. And it is when I decided that I was going to sell all my homes. I was on a 10-year plan to start a retreat center in Peru or Costa Rica, actually. But the ceremony said, no, it's time to go now, and you need to go to Sedona. I was in love with Sedona. It's Sedona and Mount Shasta are the two highest vibrational places in the U.S. I didn't want to you leave the U.S. at least yet. I don't have plans to, but at the time I was considering a retreat center in Costa Rica or Peru because then I could work with the medicine there legally as well. So the medicine's on hold, but I'm working on that, and I still venture off with other people and offer deserving people opportunities with medicine in legal ways. It's a part of my spiritual practice as well.
Yeah.
But it's there's some fine lines there with some of it. You have to do it intelligently and with the right intention, and you have to be protected. I have this great protection now as well, but I'm careful with it, and I don't go too deep into talking about what I do with that. But 3 months after the ceremony, I owned 12 acres in Sedona in some of the most sacred, powerful land out by Bear Mountain. I'm the closest home to Bear Mountain, which is Sedona's second largest peak. This is the one of the biggest paranormal areas in
Yeah.
the world as well, with UFO activity and multidimensional beings and military presence. And there's supposedly a military and an ET base back in Mission Mountain, which is just on the other side of Bear Mountain here. It's hour south of Flagstaff, 2 hours north of Phoenix. In the mountains a little bit. It's high mountain. It's the most beautiful land, temperature, all of the above. And I spent the last 4 years building my Eagle Vortex Awakening Sanctuary. And I opened this and released my book at the same time, which was a couple weeks ago.
But it's, I mean, what you're doing is you can take, obviously you're on a journey and it's an unstoppable one. But if you go back to where you had like the awakening, you're still in Vegas, you're still on a TV show, your star's getting brighter, it's growing. There must be other work lined up. Your agent must be going, "Do you know, after this, I've got this, I've got that." I mean, is this easy to turn this down? Is it a struggle? You know, what happened?
Yeah, I had endless clients. I had the two record-breaking months for the company. I was the most popular guy on the show. I had a 60,000 and a $70,000 back-to-back month. I had two mansions. I was presenting at the AVN award shows. I knew all the girls who were in the adult industry. I could have started two cam houses just like Andrew Tate did, and I could have been making six
Yeah,
figures a month easy. I could have 10 Bugattis right now. I
yeah,
had to get out of there. I had to get out of there. I started listening. I started listening. I knew it was all nonsense. And I wasn't properly manifesting. I wasn't listening. I wasn't bringing good to the world. I was supporting this darkness. And when you feed darkness, one of the biggest things that I teach, when you feed darkness, you become it. And that's where a lot of therapists and shaman as well, they make the mistake of comforting darkness instead of putting truth above those feelings. And a lot of therapists, a lot of shamans, a lot of American shamans, that is what they do. They're not malicious people. They're not malicious people. They don't have enough to give yet. They don't know how, they haven't learned their own power. They haven't left their darkness behind. So they're the only tool they have in their bag is to comfort. But as you're comforting it, when you're patting something on the back and telling them everything's going to be okay when it's not, when you're just making them deciding to feel good in that moment, that is very dark. You need to go into that. We need to go into that deeper. We need to go in that deeper. We can't go around and
yeah,
just hug everybody. One day, I can't wait for this day. One day we're going to be able to go around and hug everybody. It's going to be beautiful. We can't yet. We have to teach the lessons. We have to teach people they're not broken and they are capable.
yeah. I get, and as a therapist, I'm very blunt and I'm very honest because I won't waste anyone's time and I will never tell somebody what they want to hear, whether you like it or not.
Happy to hear that.
That's it.
We're coming around. That was the common practice, though, not too long ago. Well, that's what most therapists did. Throw
You,
pills at them and just talk about everything bad that's happened.
you're wasting their time and their
Good.
money.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's anywhere I could be. So that,
Nice.
but with yourself though, you're living a life which is the opposite to what people are supposed to be living. You're meant to be getting millions. You've got the opportunity. You can get all the cars. You can make all this money. So to walk away from that, I mean, overcoming an ego and to say, I don't need this. Whereas people are like, of course you need it. Why would you not? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Or once you're on that path, it was like, this is getting
It was
easier.
great. It was great, my friend. Oh, it felt so good. It felt so good to be able to say no to that. I could maybe be a billionaire now. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I could have I had so many doors, so many opportunities. I had one of the biggest
Yeah.
sex toy lines ever too. I had ins everywhere. I could have just continued to blow that brand up. We could have done a spin-off show. I could be have so much money, endless money. I know how to market and brand things.
Exactly.
But, no, it felt good, and I knew I didn't know it. Another thing too, to walk away from something like that, and this is I'm talking to everybody out there at these jobs that don't bring them fulfillment and purpose.
I've done them myself.
When you step into a space, when you're connected and there's purpose and this higher good involved, it comes. You don't need to chase anymore. It comes. You have to know this. You have to know this to walk away sometimes. Put that effort in. If whatever experience you're in right now, take as much as you can from it, learn from it. But if it's not satisfying you, if it's not nurturing your soul, if you're not giving back, if you're not helping people, let's have an out. Let's have an out plan. How to get out of the city, how to do something that is going to bring you more peace. And then the money and everything comes when you're in alignment and you're
I've been
flowing.
told.
These are spiritual terms that I'm throwing out there. And most spiritual people who say that they're flowing, they can't find their shoes. That's not flowing. They're getting high and they can't. That's not flowing. Flowing. I don't even, and this probably isn't that intelligent of a marketing decision actually, but it's me and I love it and I
Yeah.
embrace it and it's natural clothing and my crystals are it's I'm not marketing myself and it's not the most intelligent way I could market myself. I love this stuff, but it comes when you start
Yeah.
stepping away and you start having that out, especially the people who spent most of their life going to school and then interning and training and paying off their loans, and now they're finally making some money, but they're also like, I don't know. I don't know if I want this anymore, but then they're kind of
Yeah.
stuck there. I promise you, if you get out, it will come. It will come in other ways. You've learned so much. The schooling was worth it. You learned so much. You developed skills. You learned how to communicate, be creative, and you can apply all these tools to now creating your own business. We have YouTube now. We all know everything. You can look up how to design a website.
Yeah.
You can start drawing and writing more to be more creative. You can learn how to start up a business and you can learn Google AdWords and SEO. You can do your own backlinks to build your SEO rankings. You need to have some sort of business, something that is yours and your baby and your passion that
Yeah.
provides a
Yeah.
service to other and gives back, even if it's washing people's cars, cleaning people's pools. But you
Yeah.
need something that is yours, and you need to own it. And then one day, you can have people working for you, and you're sending them off. You don't even have to do the work, so you can be at more peace as well, or start another business too. But no matter how much you've put in to get to where you are right now, if you don't have that fire that in your eyes anymore, get it back. Get it back and everything will come. You've learned so much already. And you have so much now that you can offer the world. If you went through that whole process, you can do anything. And that effort is
And we,
greatly rewarded.
yeah, effort's greatly rewarded, especially when you're doing something that you actually love and enjoy and believe in. Yeah. And I can tell you from working in like a Wolf of Wall sales job where the money was good, but you read a piece of paper and you're waiting to payday. You earn the extra money, but your standard of living's gone up and you got nothing to show. And then to go to be a therapist, so the idea is to help other people out. And that's what I've done. The difference between the fulfillment there compared to then, it's just poles apart.
And what you bring to the world, not just through the work you do, but then just this new energy you carry too, having that
Yeah.
fire and being in contact with your soul and having purpose. The salesmen of this world, they're dead. There's nothing to them. They're just a running program. There's that fire is gone. They lost touch with their soul. I hate seeing it. Get out of those jobs that aren't fulfilling. It's
Yeah.
doing nothing for your soul.
Yeah, I agree. And I read a book at the time. I read the book, The Happiness Hypothesis, and I read that I'm like, I'm reading about my life here. I've got to get out of here. And you almost woke up one day and you're retraining. You're at university studying to be a therapist, and I'm at the point going, I'm too far down the line to stop now, and this is what I'm going to do.
Well, you've
Yeah.
got so many tools though. You've acquired so many tools though. But it can go in a different direction. You don't have to go in the line as the system, what they teach you. Because they're taught you profit. They're taught you profit. It's a system of greed and corruption. They taught profit. But no, use those tools and do something beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why, like, now you got the podcast I'm doing, I'm speaking about personal experiences and things like that, because if it can help people there as well. And I find, like, the law of attraction, I've got like a PR lady that's amazing. She's like $10,000 retainer, but she's like, do you know what, Lee, I really love what you're doing, I'll help you for free. So all these things are starting to happen there. So everything you're saying is
Yeah.
happening. And you're right, now we'll take care of itself there as well. But the bottom line is, I love what I'm doing, like the podcast, like talking to yourself. How often do I have a conversation like this with somebody like yourself? I don't. So it's just interesting there. It's just amazing. Everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, this is happening there. This is it. So it's not just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I get what you're saying. I said, well, no, this is happening, and here's the evidence to support it there as well.
Love,
There
brother.
must Absolute pleasure, but there must be so many people that have come along, started talking to you, their lives have changed because of the conversations you've had and the that
Single
they.
one. Every single one, brother. That's the goal, to get to a place where you're affecting. I mean, you're affecting somebody on everybody you come in contact with on some level anyway. My Now what I do is I walk by somebody in the grocery store and make eye contact with them. I can induce awakenings in people now. I love it. I see it. My words, my videos I post on social media. So people like this one put me into tears and I started shaking. I'm like, do you know what that was? That was the start of a Kundalini awakening. That's you connecting. That's you seeking truth. That's you leaving behind fear. But man, yes, I've become very powerful now. I look at people's eyes and I see into their soul and I see through everything. You cannot lie to me. I see people carrying around these excuses and lies and these burdens. I love it. I love it. It happens in public often. They
Yeah,
I mean, my energy field is huge and my aura, that
yeah,
alone affecting with somebody. But when I look somebody in the eyes and I'm in a state like I am right now, because I'm giving this sermon and I'm completely connected, empowered, and channeling God. When I'm in these states and I look at somebody in the eyes who's lying to themselves and are in that corner, boo-hoo, life is hard, and I see through all that, I can crack people with a look now.
yeah.
It's so
It,
powerful.
it must be so annoying for a lot of people because they're going along and they're in that comfort zone of complaining. And then you come along and like, oh my God, this guy's got so much energy. Can we turn your energy down a bit, please?
Darkness hates me. And I'm so good with it. I love it. I love it. Please, if darkness doesn't hate you, what are you doing? I
Uh,
want to annoy darkness. I want to evil their demons to present themselves. I talk about this in my book. I talk about the
yeah,
importance of triggering. I'm all for triggering people. You know, triggering people, the, the definition of triggering is awakening people, waking people up to something. That's what triggering does. It's good for you. It comes face as long as you're honest about what's happening, you're taking responsibility for it. You're not blaming the triggering on me. I'm now upset because you triggered. No, that's not how it works. I most definitely may have said something to trigger something, but it's you doing the triggering, and you're not going to get through this until you own and take responsibility for it.
yeah. No, I totally agree. And a lot of people, they just don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. But
Fear.
then you got people that go, hold on, let's look at this guy. Look at the way this guy comes across. Look at his attitude to life. Look at his belief system there. Look at how much energy he's got. Look at the way he overcomes. He doesn't look at problems as problems. He looks at them as obstacles, and he actually invites
Yeah,
them.
yeah, bring them on.
Exactly. So when you've got that mindset, you're almost unstoppable. Almost
Oh
unstoppable.
yeah,
What's going to stop you? What's going to stop
nothing.
you? I've had a guest that come on. He was
I got another one. Take an arm.
was like that. He was diagnosed. This guest come on, Terry Tucker, lovely guy, diagnosed with terminal cancer 13 years ago, and he's like, I don't believe you, and I'm not taking any notice of that, and nobody's going to tell me I've got terminal cancer. The
That
challenge
is
is
one of
the
the most.
here he is.
I'm so against that. Any doctor
Yeah,
saying that in any circumstance. How gross is that? How gross is that for you to say in any circumstance? If you're bleeding out of 4 arteries, you don't say, no, solve the problem. Solve the problem. Just because you don't have answers for me doesn't mean I'm going to terminally ill and I'm going to die because you don't know ways for me to heal and solve this. Oh, I
this is
don't
what
like that.
he was saying. He said, I just look at them as bookies. He said, because they've weighed up my age, they've weighed up this, and this, and they've gone, this is the answer. And he's like, you don't know me, and I'm not taking any notice. And here he is still there. And I'm like, yeah, fair play to you.
This is what's going to happen if you listen to me. You're going to die. Okay, so I probably shouldn't listen to you. That's what happens to people who listen to you. So yeah, I should probably not listen to you then, right? Like that's
Exactly. So let's go with, I'm not going to listen to the doctors. I'm happy with that one. That's good. But a lot of it is
you
like,
start fasting, you start taking celery juice. That's what you start doing.
with the law of attraction, you send out to the universe, you get back what you put out there. I've put out the negative stuff's come back. When I've put out positive stuff's come back to me. The law of attraction there as well. And it's the belief system, your mindset. And the biggest thing is consistency there. Obviously you've mastered consistency.
Yeah. 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 The no cheat days. No cheat days, my man.
No,
No cheat days. No
so
days. No cry days. No cry. And when I got my another bad day, and I haven't. I've had days that haven't gone as I would like them to or plan, but bad? Why would you ever decide a day is bad? You learn. Minimally, you learned something. You might not apply it, but you could. Every
okay.
chance and every opportunity is a chance to become wiser and stronger.
Right.
All of them. It's what life is. That's what makes it beautiful. The challenges and obstacles are what it wouldn't be this if they weren't there. That's why that's why all the I don't know if we want to get into that in this one. That's why everybody's watching us and putting on the show. This is the Great Awakening. That's what this is. That's no joke. That's not some spiritual nonsense either. It really is. We're going through a phase right now where we're ascending and we're becoming enlightened. We need 1% of us to become enlightened to get away from all the bad things that happen in the world. The greed. There'll be no more starving people. There'll be free energy. These things will happen when 1% of us rise up.
So tell me, what's your mindset and belief system to not have a bad day? Because we can always, it's a Monday, oh my God, I've got this, I've got that, oh God,
Once I don't have belief systems. I don't have belief systems. I don't have opinions. I put in the effort to gain knowledge and to know things and to know truth. So I don't have belief systems anymore. I'm deeper than that now. I challenge everybody to go deeper than that. Stop believing things. Stop believing what you're told. Stop opinions. Don't believe anything you've ever read in any book. Don't believe this. Don't believe this. This is a guide to take you to knowing things. And you find out in here, my first book too, everything was gimmicky. I didn't believe any of it. So not believing things. And I know I'm gonna put in the effort. I'm gonna sit with my thoughts in stillness and silence. That's where the work is done. And that's where you find the answers. That's what you have to do this. So it's a decision. The bad day thing, it's a decision. It's something I decided. And my words mean everything to me. This is a big one too. I recommend doing daily affirmations, but mean them. When I decided, I'm making this ultimate decision. No matter what happens to me, I'm never having a bad day, and I don't lie. And I put truth above all, and my words mean everything. Every word I speak means everything. So if I decide this, if I say this, it will never happen. So it's knowing, and it was knowing I can make that decision. I put all this work in to get my black belt, to win a tournament, to receive it on the podium. I won pans, and I got my black belt on the podium. It's like, why would I ever have a bad day again? I can handle it. If I can't handle it, I could handle this. What else can't I handle? There's nothing I can't handle. So it's knowing, and it's making that decision and having your words mean everything. And not having those cheat days, to segue back into that, like what we were talking about. That's a big one too. Don't have these cheat days. Don't have these feel bad days. Don't have these I'm gonna watch a sad movie and cry and feel bad and eat ice cream and poison myself days. That you're so poorly programmed by the world to that we need that we have to have a vice. You don't have to. Why isn't it? My vice is feeling good and not having bad days and only putting the best things in me to operate at the highest levels. Why would you not do that? Why would you not do that? Why would you not do everything you can to bring as much love and light to the world as possible? So it's decisions. Do you want it? If you want
Yeah.
it, you're going to decide that. If you really want that, if you want to own and take responsibility for this bad day I'm having, is my decision. And if you no longer want to make that foolish decision that any day is bad, make the decision, own it, and move on.
I think anyone that can have a good day every day is doing something right. I think because it's easy.
About right and wrong. We don't even need to concern ourselves about right or wrong anymore. It's what's best and bettering. You
Yeah.
know, if just because things didn't go as planned that day, you weren't wrong. You didn't know. You know, so it's a lesson. And if you're looking at it as you not knowing and learning a lesson, then it's not a bad day.
So you can look at it like that. So the day is like not gone how we're not going to say it's a bad day. It's not gone how you've planned it. So you're instead of going, oh, I've had a bad day. Okay, it's not gone how I've planned. What can I learn from it? What can I take from today there? Let's use it for
Yeah,
tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah. You learn all the lessons. You're not going to have bad days anymore. You're not going to have these stumbles. If you learn to grow this awareness and put yourself in the right situations. And it's all about what we were talking about before, attracting too. It's all decisions. It's all lessons. If the days don't go as planned, learn the lesson. That day won't happen again. Learn the lesson. That won't happen again.
Of
You
course.
know, and a lot of people frown upon perfection too. We can segue to this a little bit, where perfection is you've learned all the lessons. That's what, and you can learn them all. Don't people blame their mistakes on being human. No, because you're human, you don't have to make mistakes. And perfection isn't never tripping. Perfection is never lying. You're perfect if you don't lie. If you tell the truth, if you admit not knowing isn't a perfect person doesn't know everything. A perfect person tells the truth about everything. You don't have to know everything to be perfect. A perfect person sometimes stumbles. Sometimes somebody's making this great calculation that there's so much beauty going on out here. There's a small chance that I trip. And then also, if I do trip over something, I have the confidence and coordination to catch myself. So I'm going to look out here. It doesn't mean you never trip. It could be a good decision to be taken in the world out here and tripping because you have the confidence in yourself to catch yourself and knowing that there's not a cliff there. So, if I trip, it's okay. It's not, it's not ever, stumbling, or that's not what perfection is. Perfection is learning the lessons and being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the hardest part for a lot of people, especially at the start, is being honest with themselves. That's the hardest part. Find it in therapy. Being honest with yourself. If you
The easiest thing to do is to be honest with yourself. The hardest thing you can do for yourself is to lie about yourself. But some people choose and pretend that being honest about their situation is hard. And that's this a poor choice. That's like the bad day. You're deciding it's a bad day and not a lesson to learn from. It's the same thing. So we gotta change the way we talk about things too. And yes, people decide that it's hard to tell the truth. That's a horrible decision. It's a horrible decision. No, you lying right now and suffering. Your
Yeah.
suffering
Yeah.
shows that
You are.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's not hard to go to the gym. It's hard to sit on the couch and stuff your face with food. That makes life hard. The gym doesn't. Your body loves it. Listen better. Your body loves that. That's going to make life easy. That's going to provide you with more energy. That's going to work. That's going to help your body. These movements help your body detox. It keeps your joints strong, your bones, your ligaments, tendons, and not just to build muscle. You're helping your brain. You're helping blood and oxygen flow. It's hard to sit on a couch and stuff your face with Cheetos. You're poisoning yourself and destroying yourself. That's hard. Gym is the opposite of that. Gym's easy. That makes life easy.
Yeah, yeah, and it keeps you healthy, and you're gonna live a lot longer, as always. There. What's next for yourself? Where do you see your journey going? Because you're a guy that's on a journey, and I don't see you stopping. So, what's next, and where are you gonna go?
Well, out to eliminate suffering throughout the entire world. So I have some work to
Sure.
do, but this has been a great step. The Golden Laws of Enlightenment is a guide to do so. I'm going to be releasing at least a book every year here forward. I wrote a book called How to Battle Darkness. I'm writing a book on the importance of retaining your seed, sex, dating, and relationships. That will get dive into Kundalini energy a little bit more as well. I have my enlightenment blog that I release on once or twice a month. My enlightenment protocol for everybody, and I'm more than anything. I'm excited for people to come here and train with me and take on more students. I have a page at my website for students as well. My website's nickeaglemystic.com, and that's where you can find a link to my book, my enlightenment protocol, my
Yeah,
social media, everything. And I'm excited about is just working more with one-on-ones with people here. So excited with that. And for
yeah,
people to come here and enjoy my creation with me. I uh, I built a 150-foot lazy river that is called the Enlightenment Lagoon. It has a crystal grotto with a waterfall. I chopped down my own teepee poles in Montana. I did an outdoor temple. I have endless projects going on here. But that, and then also I'm going to be doing larger group retreats, and I'm going to be doing these worldwide and working with medicine more as well. So if medicine calls to you, again, I have few people have the respect. I've yet to meet somebody who has the respect I do for these enlightening plants and psychedelics, ayahuasca, mushrooms, and Pedro as well. If you're interested in working with the plants, I'm a good person. I'll send you a blog post and you can come to me for questions. I want to be that person to help people, unveil. They're an enlightening tool, but it's when you're ready to seek truth and leave behind that fear, though. That's people in these ceremonies who have bad trips, who are purging. It's because they're connecting. These plants take you to a place to connect and come face to face with God. If you choose truth, you choose to repentance and to take responsibility, you're going to have a beautiful night. You're going to be up singing and dancing. If you choose fear, you're going to be in the corner purging and crying and feeling bad.
yeah.
So doing more ceremonies, traveling to, I've worked this last 4 years. Bali's on my list. I might go to Bali in the spring. I'm going to do a vow of silence for a week or two in Tibet. So I have some trips to do as well. Many more things coming as well. I'm in talks with putting together a festival or a retreat here with speakers. It's going to be an expo with some excursions as well. So endless things going on, and I'm meeting so many beautiful people, and I'm doing this book run and podcast tour as well, and
Yeah, cool.
just excitement. I love everything that I'm doing.
Uh,
All the work
you can
paid
feel
off. It all
Yeah,
paid off.
yeah, and it is brilliant to see what you're doing. It's so interesting. It's absolutely fascinating. I love your belief system, your mindset, and I love the enthusiasm, the energy that you've got. The energy, you can feel it literally from Wiltshire, where I am in the UK, all the way to Arizona. It's just brilliant.
Get on my protocol. Get on my protocol. It has everything there. A morning routine to get you started, what you should be eating, recipes, advanced healing practices, wind down routine, the best ways to sleep. Everything is in this protocol. You want to up your game. I call it spiritual biohacking. It's another level. The biohackers are missing so much, but I've incorporated a lot of what the biohackers have into a spiritual protocol, and there's nothing out there like it. It will take you places. I guarantee you'll operate at higher levels and have awakenings, guaranteed.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's been absolutely brilliant having you on, Nick. Absolutely loved every single second of it. I wish you all the best. What you're doing is fantastic.
You, brother, thank you for you as well.
Thank you. All of Nick's links will be in the description for the episode there. Nick, thank you again, buddy.
Beautiful. Honored to be here. Thank you so much.